Okay, so now what we're going to take a look at is something called underwater archaeology. And archaeology is the study of really basically old things. They're discovering and looking for new things. Archaeologists, you can see here, someone who studies archaeology. They're scientists who study human artifacts to learn about past cultures. And so someone who is, excuse me, someone who is an archaeologist, in this case, they're going to be studying, in the case of a sunken ship from hundreds and thousands or hundreds of years ago, they're going to be studying human artifacts, but obviously from the past, okay? So here it says, archaeologists often look for sunken ships in order to understand the Europeans who first explored the Americas. To find a sunken ship, though, archaeologists, they have to examine old ship records that were kept by European merchants. So those are seriously old documents. They read tales from shipwreck survivors. So those would be examples of primary sources. Sometimes they use machines to help find a ship's anchors or even cannons, because obviously they're using something that says, for example, sonar. That's a technology that uses sound to locate sunken objects. Okay, so they're looking for those big objects that might help them out. Archaeologists need to know the location of each artifact on a sunken ship, so those divers are going to mark off the site in squares with cables and plastic tubing. And so because now they're using this grid, they can carefully record each object's location. So like that grid we saw on the previous page, here, they're gridding off a ship so they can actually see where those artifacts came from. So using this grid, they can carefully record each object's location. And this information is going to help the archaeologists decide who probably used the objects and for what purpose or reason. Each artifact has to be photographed, brought to the surface, tagged, recorded on a list, and then also cleaned. Because imagine, it's probably got hundreds of years of sea on it. So whether it's some kind of sea deposit or animals have been on it, probably even dirt or sand. So it has to be cleaned. Metal artifacts, they usually survive the longest. That makes sense, right? Paper objects, probably not so much. Objects made of plants and animal products, they sometimes just disappear. And after studying hundreds of artifacts, archaeologists might be able to tell the name of the ship, where it was going, and even why. Maybe even perhaps who was on it. So after studying all these records they mentioned up here, they can actually start deciding and figuring out more information. So they're like underwater detectives. It's pretty cool. Finding a sunken ship often takes many years. I imagine so, right? That makes sense. Bringing up the remains can take weeks and even years. Understanding that what the objects mean takes even longer. You're going to read on to learn about artifacts that give clues about why Europeans sailed to the New World. We're going to take a look at a picture down here. This is a picture from more recent times, obviously. Sorry about the glare. Let me see if I can cover it up here. That helps. It's for a more recent time, and you guys can see they're looking objects over. You can see it looks like they got a piece of pottery down here in the corner. They're measuring objects. You can see here it looks like he's measuring. They clean them, and they brought them to the surface, and they're taking a look at them more closely. So these are actual artifacts that they've brought up from under the ocean. So that's pretty cool.